What's up, guys? It's your boy James, aka Six8Jay, coming to you on this Sunday. It's 10 a.m. I'm super excited because I got my man Pots and Pans back in the house with me today. You guys can just stop looking at him as a special guest and just as a regular on the show. His name is Chris Moore, the one and only, guys. I'm super excited about my brother being on the show today. Guys, what's going on with the market? I can tell you what. When it dips, we dip just like that. Bitcoin tripping out. I don't really think it's a Bitcoin thing, to be honest with you. I just think it's everything that's going on in the United States. The hucksters, the fraudsters, the tricksters. Some of you guys might know them as the SEC. Some of you might know them as the puppet masters with Elizabeth Warren. Some of you guys may know them as the presidents that's too old, that keeps falling down, that's just full of corruption. Operation Choke Point 2.0. You guys know the leader as Joe Biden. That's what's going on. Damn it. What did Brad Garlinghouse said the other day in the interview that he had? He said, we were once looked at as the leaders of innovation in blockchain and crypto technology, but the SEC has single-handedly destroyed that. Right now, we got Bitcoin at 25,773, guys. We got Ethereum 610. When we crack that 1,600, we're going to see. I don't know how BNB, guys. Somebody answer this. How is BNB just stand up above $200 like that, huh? Is that manipulation? I'm just saying, how the hell is that possible? Everything else is dipping but BNB, but yet they've got the feds, everybody against them, Department of Justice, FBI, I don't know. Everyone's leaving, people retiring, former employees are snitching, but the coin is standing up above 200. I don't know how that works out. Just saying. Let me stop. XRP right now is at 49.72, guys, flirting with that 50-cent mark. We've got 8 at 24 cents. Doge, that old crazy dog, is at 6 cents. Holding strong. Why? Because Elon. Elon's got like a diamond-studded, like Chris Moore puts around his dogs, a diamond-studded, collar around Doge's neck. That's the only reason that damn coin's up there. Let me stop. 1803 for Solana. Big things with Solana. What? Visa partnership? Good Lord. TRX, Justin Sun, the owner. You guys remember that video when he was drunk? He said, Tron is crap. I built it to be crap. Remember that? If you don't remember it, go on YouTube and look it up. I'm just saying. That's why I ain't got none of it. It's at 7 cents right now. We got Polkadot at 4.14. Can we get down to $3? Polkadot, can you make us rich? Please. That's why I bought it last time. $3. Good Lord. If that happens, I'm telling you, I'm selling my house. I'm seeing how many kids I got. I got 6. Do I need them? Let me stop. That's a joke. Matic is at 51 cents right now. We got Shiba. 5 zeros. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cents. Okay. That's too much. Don't know a lot of Spanish. It's at 5 zeros and a 7 right now, guys. We got Stellar at 13. Now, Stellar is pumping like crazy. Why couldn't this be Ripple? Good Lord. Because Stellar, Danelle Dixon, they got some big things going on. She just talked about it on X. We might get into that. It's at 13 cents right now. We got AVEX at 9.94. 9.49, I'm sorry. We got Chainlink at 6.03. That old stinky leaky. OKB 41.58. Uniswap at 4.20. Let's see. HBAR is at 4 cents. Guys, the market for the most part is red. We got Kronos right now flirting with 5 cents. VChain at 1 cent. Arbitrum, that new layer 2, is at 84 cents. Optimism, another layer. That's the first time I've ever seen them that close together. Another layer 2 project. Neither of these projects have seen a bull market yet. Near, let's make it clear, is at 113. We got Avi at 54.12. We got the top 10 AI coins. If you Google it right now, what do you see? GRT. It's at 8 cents right now. We got XDC. A whole lot of partnerships going on with that thing. People are excited, so am I. It's at 5 cents right now. Algo at 9 cents. XTZ, the OG, at 67 cents. We got Stacks, just like Tell Songs. We play it every day. You guys want to hear it? Just stay tuned. We're going to play it in a little bit. ASX is right now is at 4.38. We got the coin formerly known as EGLD, Multiverse X, at 23.57. Theta, like Kappa Sigma, I don't know, maybe Chris was into that. I got left college after my first year, but I wanted to be in one of those markets. Like, never did. Anyway, Theta's at 60 cents. We got Sandbox, 3 for $1. IMX is at 50 cents. We got SNX at 2.13. INJ, 29.50. Render, another top 10. If you just Google it right now, top 10 AI projects. Don't sleep on AI, guys. Remember, this will be the first bull run when it comes that we see AI, FET, Singularity, what is it, AGIX? Good Lord. Hope you guys know that. Also, guys, remember, nothing that me and Chris talk about should ever be deemed or considered financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing. I've been in crypto since 2017. My name is James, a.k.a. Six8Jay, and I'm just documenting my journey in the evolution of money. Mana, 3 for $1. Neo, Chris can probably sing this better than me. Because of you. And it's all good Lord, I can't say. I sound good in the shower until that damn water comes off. IOTA is at 17 cents. We got ApeCoin, that old crazy monkey, at 124. Floor, if you didn't know, 41 cents. What else we got here? CSPR, Casper, 3 cents. Curve, CRV 4242. Sue! That's what Gary Gensler's known for, but guess what? No one cares. Why? Because he got his teeth knocked out by Judge Annalisa Torres. We're not scared of you, Gary. Keep appealing. Hopefully you can peel back some of that hair, lose some more of it. Let me stop. Good Lord. Lunk is at 4 zeros and a 5 right now. Gala is at 1 cent. A lot of controversy around Gala, down 10% for the week. We've got, let's see, A-Star. I remember we covered that. Guys, if you ever get a chance, go over to our YouTube. Go to live and you'll see over 500 and what now? Good Lord. We got 505 videos in 9 months. Your boy James Six8Jay. I call this the Rolex, guys. By the way, we got some crazy things that's coming. If you guys didn't hear me announce, matter of fact, in 3 hours, that's tres for those of you guys who speak Spanish. I need to feel important, so act like I know Spanish when I don't. At 1 o'clock, I got a very important meeting with some incredible people. Yes, I said it. I'll give you guys a little hint. One of those people, well, I'll just tell you who it is. One of those people is King Dogo, which is, he's got a lot of stuff going on right now with XRP, XRPL, also with Edo Farina, who also has a lot of stuff going on. Powerful influencers, guys, and what they do. And then the third person, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is a female. I don't know a person I think Edo brought in, but we're going to start this round table, almost like a Twitter podcast. And we're going to be doing it once or twice a week, talking about everything crypto. These guys have way bigger platforms than I have, but it's something that me and Edo, we've always had this deal. He'll reach out, happy birthday, and all this kind of stuff, and we threw the idea around, and boom, we're going to start. So we're going to, he has access. He's already talking about guests like Robert Kiyosaki. These guys got crazy influence and crazy connections, along with myself, with the celebrities and things that I know. So we're going to combine that all together and come up with a show. So our first meeting on what we're going to be doing is at 1 p.m. We'll let you guys know more about those details as they reveal themselves. We got DYDX right now at 192. Flare, did anybody get in that free Flare airdrop? I don't know. It's at 1 cent right now. GMX. Good Lord, 3 for 100. Can't believe that. Pepe is going to make everybody rich. I don't know about that because it's at number 98 right now. I don't have any of it. Woo! That's how we're going to feel once, they fire Gary Gensler. We're going to be like, whoa! I'm going to buy some woo just because of that. 15 cents. And we got Pancake Swap to be exact, at 122 at number 100. Guys, with all that being said, that's your market. It's down. What's happening? Me and Chris going to talk about it. Guys, welcome. One of the greatest individuals that I've known in my many years on this earth. We came together, like many of you guys know, based off being some of the greatest at what we do. We formed a bond. I was his best man at his wedding. I always like saying that just because you guys need to understand how much this guy means to me, his family. We're fathers, husbands, entrepreneurs, and we're both focused on helping others win, which is what we were recognized for, not only with awards and magazines, blah, 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 in our years, but we definitely care about people. And it's amazing. They always say good people tend to stick. And out of almost 10 years or 10 years that I've been knowing this brother, we've just stuck. And I'm excited about all the things that we're going to be doing moving in the future. So, yeah, help me welcome my brother, Chris Moore, to the house. Chris Moore, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me all right, brother?
I can hear you, Chris Moore, my man, Pots and Pans. How you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. Doing great. Better than I deserve.
Well, if you notice, your boy went back to the Mr. Clean look. Got the little.
I saw.
Yeah, man.
You lost the whole fro.
Lost the A, man. I was getting up every day feeling like buckwheat, and I had to lose a fro. That's all.
Yeah, I understand. Convenience. It's a big thing.
I had to call up my special barber. Her name is Jeanette, and she had fun, I'm sure. Anything I've done to irritate her over the last probably 6 to 12 months, she took it out of my head. She's like, wow. I was like, oh, wait a minute, babe. No, I'm just kidding. But no, guys, let me say hello to everybody that's in the stream right now. Crypto Tropics was up, my brother Anthony Wanner, Andrew T, my beautiful queen, Johnette's in the house. Appreciate each and every one of you guys and all those who will tune in as the stream is going on and thereafter. So, Chris, today our topic is, let me pull it up here. Our topic is recognizing opportunities. Recognizing opportunities. And that's what we did. That's how we came together. We recognized the opportunity that we are both a part of, and it was life-changing. I know we've touched a lot of lives. I was able to see you in action. You were able to see me in action, and recognizing that opportunity is what brought us together. So we're going to be talking about how important it is in recognizing opportunities. Before we do, I want to read. We'll go through some stuff here. Let Twitter kind of lead us into our conversations. So I'll read this first thing here that I posted up on my Twitter. If you guys go to my Twitter, make sure you do me a favor. Like, comment. Also here, make sure you guys subscribe and show your support in all that we are doing today. This comes from a repost by a person named Farah. It says, I've been in this community since 2018. There are a handful that I used to speak. I'm sorry. There are a handful that used to speak. That don't make sense. There are a handful that I used to speak to that are still on here. Okay, gotcha. Shout out to them for sticking through. There are a handful that I used to speak to that aren't here anymore. They did not give up, I hope. Maybe they're just not on Twitter anymore. I don't want to assume, but I will say one thing. I will never give up. I can never give up. I'm going to kind of ad-lib some of this if it don't make sense to me. With anything that I do in my life, I will go to the end until I get what I want. I will do everything in my power to always make that happen. I will always be here with you all through this journey, throughout the ups and downs. I have never left. I've been here during the pumps. I've been here during the dumps. I've been here through it all, and I will always be. Why? Because I know what's on the other side. I know the reward that's to come. I've already seen it. I've already felt it. I'm just waiting for it to happen at this point. And it will be beautiful to share that moment with you all once it does happen. Never give up. The reward will be worth it, worth the wait. Not everyone will make it to the championships round. Not everyone will make it to the finish line. We are closer than we've ever been. I wish you all the best in your journey. Stay strong. That was kind of cool. So I had to repost that, Chris, because that just, to me, summed up where everything's at right now. As I show the next thing, which is the fear and greed index, and the fear greed index right now shows that we're in fear right now. I wouldn't say extreme fear, but we're definitely in a fearful moment in the markets, and rightfully so. Right? You got a lot of people who've invested, depending on obviously. The due diligence that they've done. I think a lot of people are anticipating a further downside when you look at technical analysis and market analysis and really fundamental analysis, what's going on in just really around the world. There's interest rates are crazy, Chris. Like, we just sold our place, brother, and we're waiting for everything to go through here. And we know rates are like 6 point something to like 8%. It's bananas. I mean, who can afford to do that?
That's nuts.
You go out. For an example, if someone financed the place that we're in right now, they would be looking at over $6,000 a month. And so one of the things that we were able to, we were able to. The reason that it's taken a little long for us is we were able to put the people in a position. We still got to go see if it's going to go through, but it's an assumable loan where they can get our 2.75% rate. And so that's what they're trying to do, which is why I think we sold our place so fast. So, but just with that in mind, with interest rates, with I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you and Paige know this. Shouts out to your wife, Paige, my sister. But when there's a time that we can go out and spend $200, Chris, and we would fill our house up with groceries. And I go and watch my wife now, Chris, and she'll spend $200, or I'll spend $200. She does most of the grocery shopping, and we'll look up, and I'm like, we got like a couple bags. I mean, I'm talking my brother. It's like nothing. Maybe a couple meals, and I'm just like, what in the hell's going on? So, cars right now, I mean, the average car payment, they said, is about $600-700. People just can't afford to exist, and yet the money just doesn't justify how much we're spending, guys. So regardless of what's going on, I know we got, a lot of things that are positive, but just in the negative aspect of things, it looks like a great reset. Now, when you sprinkle the monetary sentiment around the world, Chris, where you got BRICS, you got all these different countries right now that are looking to move away from the dollar. They're looking to abandon the dollar when it comes to like oil, when it comes to other things. It just seems like we're in trouble. And then when you go to the crypto aspect, and that's just global. That's all us as human beings around the world. But when you go to the crypto aspect, obviously we came off of the Luna and the Celsius and the FTX catastrophe and unfortunate scandal. And now you're looking at, Binance is still in a major lawsuit right now with the feds, the Department of Justice, and everybody after them. You got a lot of their head people that have walked away, resigned. You have employees that are saying things now that the snitching out, I guess, of what was going on, however you want to say it. And then you got really ridiculous lawsuits. You got the appeal against Ripple. You got the lawsuit, which is just redundant, and many, including people who are not in the case, just feel like even SEC members who've been around 16 years, chairs and stuff like that, saying, look, it doesn't look good for the SEC. But then you also got Coinbase who's in the lawsuit and all these different things. So with all that FUD, and those things that are going on negatively, it looks like we could be going down. And then obviously the positive is, we see a lot of these projects that are making big headlines. You see that Bitcoin ETFs on the verge of breaking out. So it's just a moment of a lot of confusion, fear, and uncertainty right now, right? Which they call fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's really, I think, where we're at right now in the market. And so what I want to talk about today, Chris, is just recognizing opportunities, and recognizing when some things that typically may look bad. I don't know if you on your computer right now, but right here, the last thing that I showed before I hand it over to you, it says hodling XRP, and there's another one that says hodling Bitcoin, right? And it shows the expectations that people have. You can go out there and do all the right things. You can go out there and do your due diligence, go out there and be the greatest planner and all those type of things, controlling your emotions. But the reality is, this is what it looks like. And that is, a lot of peaks and valleys, a lot of obstacles, a lot of negativity before you get to the finish line. And so the reason that I read that young man or that person's comment in the very beginning about never giving up, about when he said he looks up on Twitter now, or X, and a lot of people that were there are no longer there. And I remember me and you being in the industry where we would look up and a lot of people were no longer there, and now we're two of the people that are no longer there for whatever the reasons are. But for this space in general, I think we need to recognize that it's not a success is not a straight road, Chris. It's not it's not all uphill. There's a lot of adversity, and then through that adversity and through those trials and tribulations of those peaks and valleys, we find opportunities, and so that's what we want to talk about. I'm gonna hand it over to you with that.
100%. 100%. I think that, a way to look at opportunity is a way to look at what's going on right now. People always, like you said, that, there's fear right now, and as opposed to greed. So when there's fear, when there's uncertainty, there's opportunity.
That's right.
Okay. Because the largest strides in wealth with a lot of different people always come at times like this. 08, 09, during the pandemic, made billionaires think they're trillionaires, right? There was a lot of different opportunities because you can cash in on those or, take advantage of them at a discount because you're going the opposite of, direction that everybody else is going in. And so the thing is this, it's like, there's nothing you can do to take advantage of an opportunity if you're not prepared to take advantage of an opportunity. That's right. So recognizing that there's only, that's 10%. That's right. 90% is what you do before you should even be looking for opportunities. You know what I mean? We don't need to be running marathons and we can't even walk or crawl yet, right? So one of the things we need to do is get our house in order. Right. All right. And so one of the ways to do that is to become more efficient with what you're doing. You talked about how little, groceries, is purchased for the amount that you're spending. Right. And boy, don't I know it. You know what I mean? It's these 5 kids eat, at least 4 out of 5 are teenagers, and every penny of food they're eating is in this house. Okay. Yeah. So it's between them, myself and my wife, all 7 of us here, and the 2 cats and the 2 dogs. We're about to, it's serious. And we end up having a little family financial meeting. It's what we had allocated for our weekly thing, it's not stabilized one time in 9 months. No. It's not been the same. It is increasingly getting up and up and up. And
let me say this, Chris, where you're at right now, brother, my heart goes out to you as my brother, as a father, as a husband, because where you're at is where me and Jeanette were at 5 years ago, right? 4 years ago when we left on our journey of just us, right? We raised our kids. Mm-hmm. Our kids, obviously my youngest stayed with his mom, but the rest of them are between 20 and 29. And so we don't have that, it's just me and Jeanette. We have my 20-year-old who's here right now, but we're moving him down to the Fresno area towards the end of this month. He's actually moving down there. And so it's just going to be me, Jeanette, and the dog. So I it's crazy, man, because I understand and I feel my heart goes, I couldn't imagine. And this, again, you always find a way, but I can't imagine what you're doing with 7 of you guys and several animals. My God, man, especially the way the economy is right now. So I just had to throw that in there. That's just crazy.
Oh yeah. It's the biggest bill there is, brother. Jeez. We're well over, $700 a week.
Jeez.
you know, and so that's, you know, and that's being conservative. But point is this, hey man, you know, you know, we do what we do, right?
That's right.
And it'll be all good. It'll be all good. So we need to get our house in order. We need to. You can't improve things that you're not tracking.
That's right.
So if you aren't 100% aware of what you're spending, we have a Cadillac Escalade that I drive around most of the time because, you know, I carry my I have different kinds of LED lighting and stuff like that for commercial customers, and I can carry a lot of stuff, and it's pretty decent on gas, right? But it's $123 to fill it up, and you know, so it's a you know, and it's not like I'm living in a small city of San Antonio. Goodness gracious, it sound like I'm complaining like crazy.
Whenever you go on a trip, I know those bigger cities like that's crazy. Yeah.
You just gotta know where you're at, what you're gonna be spending, what you're doing, and start making yourself more efficient. You know, we're you know, we're looking at everything, and it's like, okay, what can we make better? Okay, you know what, we need to go ahead and take care of the car note. We're about to knock that thing out real quick. Boom, let's go ahead and do that. That's going to drop that. Then let's go ahead and do this. We have a consistent plan of attack. There's always one of these things that we're trying to get knocked off. You know what I mean? And then there's certain ones that we just want to always keep going. That way we have, you know, consistent, but there's nothing that's draining or like, man, that's coming up in 2 days or something. You know what I'm saying? So, exactly. So got to get your house in order. You got to track what you're using so you know how to improve on it because you know what you're spending, and then start kind of stacking up a little bit. You know what I mean? Start becoming financially responsible because, you know, no matter how prepared, you know, you are, there'll always be more opportunities than you will be able to personally take advantage of. So no matter how aggressive I was at either saving or investing or anything to put myself in a position to succeed or to capitalize on something, there was always so much more to bite off of than I could ever afford myself. And so that's the cool thing, you know, the opportunities will come bigger than you can take a bite of them. But guess what? You start taking bites of them, you're going to be able to take bigger and bigger and bigger bites. But if you're hand to mouth, if you're paycheck to paycheck, if you're a bad steward of your money, opportunities, you can't be blessed with opportunities that you can't take advantage of when you can't even manage your home. You know what I mean? And so become more efficient, get your house in order, track what you're doing, stack up the way you can, and educate yourself on the industries that you're excited about. I'm very, very interested in the storage space here. And so I am studying in that industry. I'm seeing who are the new players. Okay. I'm studying different avenues of entry. You know, my original plan that I thought was pretty good has been changed 2 different times, just in information I've acquired over the last 30 days. Right. And I'm learning more about an industry I'm not participating in than a lot of people do in the industry they're in. Right. And so be a, you know, study the opportunities, study what's going on, because something's going to happen. And if you're not ready, and if you're not educated, you got to be financially educated and knowledge wise ready. You know, if those two don't come together, then that's going to be a phenomenal opportunity to somebody else that deserves it a little bit more.
Yeah, no,
so
I agree.
so that's what I would say for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's funny you say storage. Me and my wife talked about that several times. It's big money and something that takes very little effort to maintain, and that's one of the
no people.
Yeah, one of the businesses we thought about investing in down the line is something just because of some people that she knows that are millionaires from just that very thing. It's just crazy. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that one of these days offline, because that's something that we talked about. We talked about that several times. So I like this point here, but it says billionaire mindset. It says where you are in 5 years depends on what you do today. How true that is. You know, where you at in 5 years depends on what you do today. I think part of being able to recognize opportunities is or being able to take part of those opportunities. It's one thing to recognize an opportunity. It's another thing to take part in that opportunity. And I think in order to do that, you have to have a plan, right? And I think a lot of times we allow the influence of others. We allow our emotions to lead us when making decisions when it comes to investing, when it comes to projects. People get up there and they'll be like, "Oh my God, this coin," and then you go, "Oh my God, it's you know," and what people don't realize, there'll be 4 or 5 influencers. That's why I don't think YouTube is the best place to go to learn. It's a good place to kind of get an idea, but it's not the best place to go to try to make a decisive decision on your investment. Meaning that it's good to do research. It's good to get people's analysis and thoughts on what a project is. But then you still got to go back and do your own research. And you still got to go back and validate and just look where everything is going. You know, if you look at a project and you don't take the time, this is one of the things that, and I'm gonna talk about one of the things that what I look at when I'm looking at projects, Chris. I go to the website. I look at, you know, who's involved. I look at, you know, I go and I search for the white paper. I try to go look at the roadmap. What have they done? I look at their social media, right? Is it something that doesn't make any sense? Like they got 240,000 subscribers, but on each one of the posts that they make, they've got, you know, 25 people comment. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Not if it's a real project with real backing, right? Because community is what drives. What makes Doge so amazing? The community. What makes Shiba so outstanding? The community. What makes, you know, a lot of these projects are driven by the community. When people stop believing, that project is in trouble, or stop investing, right? So I think for me, those are some of the things I look at. And there's many other things that I look at with the projects. I go out and look at articles. I look at partnerships. I look at use case. I look at, you know, who the people running the company. Are there anything on those people that when he rug pulls on another project? Well, that might be an indication that, you know, you might not want to be a part of this one. So all those different things. So I definitely think it's having a plan, and what I would tell people, Chris, is you got to be frugal and you got to be smart with your money, because it's the hardest thing in the world to make. I wouldn't say the hardest thing, but to keep. Right, a lot of times, you know, we're throwing money at different. I know I've thrown money at projects, man, and lost tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
And so, what I would tell people is, you know, it's kind of like a month or two ago when all this stuff was going on with XRP, with XDC, with XLM. They were pumping like a month and a half ago, and now you look at a position where a lot of people, you know, might have entered in. And now you know, if this market goes down, Chris, we could be looking at a Bitcoin that's sub 20. Maybe. I'm just saying that's the case, but if it moves, it can move quickly. I'm not saying it's not going to retrace.
That's right.
And obviously we won't go into a bull market, but if that happens, you might see some of these projects like XRP go down to 30-something cents. You might see projects like XDC go back, you know, sub $3. Sub 3 cents. You might see some of these projects like XLM retrace past, you know, 7 cents or something like that. So I think it's good that's why they always say dollar cost average, have a plan, and never overextend yourself. And I think one of the key things is never put yourself in a position where you don't have capital to invest in the worst times. And I'm not sure right now if the worst times have happened because of where we're at really as
no.
because even if we look at the fact that, and I say this all the time, I think crypto is a life-changing opportunity. I think the fact that AI just is amongst us right now. I think the fact that we see adoption around the world. But one of the things we also have to recognize as a not only as a country but globally, we're in some of the worst times in the history of humanity. We just came off of COVID. We just have some of the biggest scandals. They're talking, you know, the dollar may not be the main, you know, currency that people believe in anymore, and it seems like that's
world currency.
There's an outright really plot to walk away from the dollar. People are sick and tired of the U.S. They're sick and tired of our antics. And how do you respect someone who don't even respect their own peoples, Chris? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can I respect you? Or I'm not going to say you because you're a great person, but how can I? Let's say if there's a guy and he's married, this and that. How can I respect him if he's abusing his wife or abusing his kids, or he's always out, he's a drunk, or he's out there gambling? How do I respect you as a person? So how do you respect a country that enslaves their people? How do you respect a company that can literally make something happen that could change the whole narrative of where the crypto space is at, which could literally help out? I'm not saying it's going to change, you know, food prices and gas prices and real estate prices. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it can definitely put people in a different situation, and they just refuse to do that. And I kind of talked about it yesterday on my show, Chris, where they were showing people like I can't think of the lady who's let me see if I can find her real quick. She's running for see if I can find this article real quick. a second, Chris. She's running for, let's see, if I can find this real quick here. It's been all over the Twitter and social media, but she's running for office again. I shared it yesterday. I don't know if I can find it again. But
who, Pelosi or something?
Yeah, it's like Pelosi, one of those. And she makes about $193,000 a year in salary, Chris. But her
That's
worth,
Pelosi.
but her worth is $290 million. And it's like, and Gary Gensler in the tens of millions, and Elizabeth Warren in the tens of millions, and
Yeah.
the president who has a certain salary is making tens of millions by now. I mean, it's just, to me, it just speaks of the scandals and the corruption and the manipulation and the position that these guys are in, where they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, but the average person is lucky if they make 30%, if they're lucky. So it's just, so anyways, I'm gonna hand it over to you. I know I kind of went on a tangent, but definitely having a plan and making sure you don't overextend yourself, and being prepared. That's one of the things I'm definitely excited about, is being prepared if there's bloodier times in the water.
100%. Like your plan, that you were just speaking of, we should all just create like a template, and it's just it's what I call my bid or no bid checklist, right? So I have certain things for my government contracting where I'm going to determine if I'm going to bid on this project or not, if I'm going to, leverage myself and put myself at risk or whatnot for this particular project, because I believe in this. I know I can, deliver on the back end of it or whatnot. And,
Right.
and so before I make a really important decision like that, I have to go by my bid or no bid checklist, because, buying's an emotional decision. Buying a business is really no different. It's, you could walk in this place and be completely swooned by this old Jewish dude that's telling you about his business and why he wants you to do this and that and everything else. And then, you're almost brought to a point of tears. And then you get back in your car and you look at your bid no bid checklist, and you realize that that this thing's not 75% of what you would like to invest in, minus the emotional investment this person just put into you. And then you get to, you wipe your face and you keep driving, because the thing is, the plan that you come to the table with is going to be, is going to be your determining factor of your success. It's having a predetermined, list of criteria that would make you feel safe and secure to give your hard-earned money to a situation that, if it meets every bit of those, you could still lose all your daggone money, right? And so you want to be as serious as the fact that you're giving money, you're putting money in a situation that could very well never come back your way, let alone go somewhere, have babies come back to you in your account. You know what I'm saying? So having a template for that, it goes a long way. And then, because something else you had just said too, about preparation and planning to prepare and everything else. It's like, the saying, I forgot the exact words of it, but it says that it's along the lines of a person with no target is going to hit it with impeccable accuracy.
That's right.
Right? If you ain't going nowhere, you're going to go nowhere perfectly. You are going to hit that every single time, because you don't accidentally luck into becoming a successful person that strategically made a bunch of decisions to get you there. And that sentence makes no damn sense at all, right? Yeah. And so understand that some of the easiest, simplest things, guys, you can't do crap without a plan. Go to damn Walmart, go buy groceries right now for your family or something else, and think you're going to come back and make everybody happy if you didn't have a list. I got to message my family group chat, all right? And I still might get it wrong, okay? Right. Yeah, right. They're giving me names and taking pictures of putting stuff on there, and they compliment me all the time for it, but it's hard.
Basically, it's not just having a plan in investments, it's having a plan in everything that you do. I want to read something real quick.
That's it.
And I want to kind of switch the topic a little bit to
okay.
Speaking things to an existence, right? Having vision, and one of the things that and I'm sure you and Paige do this as well, but me and Jeanette, I like talking about things to come. My wife's been with me 15 years. I remember my brother Jermaine saying something to me. He says, everything you touch turns to gold. And it really made me think. And I think what it is, Chris, is even in the industry that we were in before, even with your lighting company, anything that we've done, it's an old saying that you have to believe it to achieve it, right? And I think one of the things that I've always really been good at is visualizing things before I get there. If I wanted a certain car, I'd be like, man, I really want that car, and I would visualize and say, okay, what do I need to do to get that car? What do I need to do to get that home? What do I need to do to get that lifestyle? What do I need to do to get that income? And it's something I remember Jim Rohn saying. He goes, if $5,000 a month is your problem, you need to become bigger than your problem, right? You need to become bigger than your problem. So if you need to make $5,000, go out there and figure out how to make $10,000. You know, that kind of thing. And if you can make five, and it's one of the most realest things I heard him say. He says, if you can make $5,000, he goes, you can make 50. And if you can make 50, you can make 500. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he said, because all it is just 10xing what you've done to get to that 5,000. 10xing that mindset, that drive, that plan, that whatever it is, those goals, and the effort in order to do that. And you'll start realizing. He goes, I realized it was easy. It was as easy for me to make 50,000 as it was for me to make 5,000. And he said, just because I just understood what I had to do, and then did it so efficiently. Once I realized how to make the 5, did it in such a way that it became simple, so that when I want to go after 50, I just applied the same type of drive I had to go make 5,000. So it's like you're working for that 5. Once you get there, you're like, oh, this is easy, and you embrace it, and now you got it. So now 50 is the next thing. You put the same drive, you get 50, and you're like, whoa, this is easy. I got to the 50. I want 500,000. Let me go do that 10x again. And so it's an incredible thing that I remember. It's something here that was reposted by a guy by the name of XRP Avengers. It says, most of your family won't understand when you make $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million in crypto. You've made this yourself, not them. Don't listen to the advice from people that have no idea about what you're doing. XRP will give you financial freedom, and I think that goes with any crypto. So I won't just say XRP. Depends on what investment you're in based off of your due diligence and your plan, and obviously the success of that project will give you financial freedom. We only have one life. Live your life. And I like that, Chris. And basically what it is, and it brings up something, and I don't know if me and you talked about just before. They won't see it right now while you're in the mud. We always talk about if you want to enjoy the rain, you got to embrace the mud. Let's talk about just staying focused, because I think part of it is recognizing opportunity, Chris, and the other part of it is sometimes it's hard being the only person that believes that you can win. And what I mean by, and I'm not saying me personally, it's always worked best for me, because I've learned how to kind of block everybody else's mindset or opinions out. If that's the case, when they put me in special ed, I would have just bought into it. Oh, okay, so I guess I am stupid, or they told me I wasn't gonna be. Oh, I guess I am dumb. I guess it wasn't about my dad. I was angry. Whatever it is. Oh, I guess you're right. African Americans in this area don't have car locks or cell phone stores in this particular area. Or you know what? Sitting there for the first time, looking at somebody on stage and going, you know what? That could be me. And 3 months later, it is me. So talk about the importance, man, of understanding where you're going, staying focused on that, and not letting people influence that.
So I think that. First of all, understanding the mental aspect of it goes a long way, right? So if people understand that how people feel about you and what people want for you says a lot about them, not about you. So when people have certain ideas of you, they want you to stay within the parameters of those ideas, because, that's what they've made up their mind that you are. And just out of the, they don't want to be, they want you to be what they want you to be. They ain't got to worry about it. They can go on to something else. And so, and for some other people, it's a lot of, for the most of it, it's a self-identifying thing. The things they recognize and they identify within you are the things they recognize and identify or feel is relatable to who they are.
That's right.
And so when you're different, or when you're better, or you want more, right, you're offending them, because you're saying that if you're like them and you want more, then they're not enough either.
That's right.
And so that's how you can personally offend somebody without ever saying a word to them about anything that you feel about them. Because the thing is, what's working for you works for you.
That's right.
That's fine. It's great that that's a destination for you,
mm-hmm.
but don't be offended that it's a stepping stool for me.
That's right.
I'm going to the 10th step. This is the second. I have no problem with that being your last step.
Right.
We're in different chapters of our book. And,
right.
and maybe your fulfillment was in somewhere else. It didn't have to be in your occupation. Mine is. I need for to do what I feel like doing. I like to create. You know what I mean? Entrepreneurship, this is my art. I'm doing different things in different industries, learning different barrier of entries, and then how to make those things efficient. Like I said, house and order and stuff. Same thing applies for business.
Yeah,
you're tracking it in business, you make it efficient,
right.
and then you try and do things to make it bigger. Just
yeah.
like what you were saying about the 5,000, 50,000. You get that when you could see the little tweaks and see the difference that it makes just because you're that in tune to what's going on. That's when you start to have something.
Yeah, let me add something to that too. You know, and I want you to comment off this, and that is, I think one of the most frustrating things for me and you, and I know it's been one of the most frustrating things for me, and I had to learn how to become numb to this, is that sometimes we get frustrated because we want more for people sometimes than they want for themselves. And it's predicated off the things that we want out of life. So we may want a beautiful home for our family. We may want to be financially free, and then we see the vehicle in which to get us there. And me and you've been in industries where we've been a part of that vehicle, or it could be, I know, like me and you've had many conversations about the lighting industry, and some people don't even know there's money in that. And then you find something like crypto, and you're passionate about. Not everyone's going to be passionate about what you're passionate about, or driven like you're driven, and you have to accept that. And I think that's something that a lot of us struggle with, Chris, is accepting people's complacency. I'm not because, but what's key to that is I had to get away from that, because the more I hung around with people who were complacent and negative, it was making me complacent and negative. And so sometimes trying to help people who aren't willing, who don't want the help, can drain your very soul, and actually it can be almost a pullback effect from keeping you moving forward in the things that you're focused on.
Yeah.
So comment on that, Chris, about just, not everyone's not everyone's going to have the same vision you have.
Yeah. I think Jay-Z said it great. He said, the best thing I can do for the hood is get out of it, right? Like, sometimes that. People need to see you do what you do.
That's right.
Your actions speak louder than words, like Ralph Waldo Emerson says, right? It's man, your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying.
That's right.
That's it. Go do something. Go do something. Go be somebody, and then people will try and they'll follow the trail of that, because I definitely, especially in my younger years in entrepreneurship, trying to conjoin with people and see them get, have the same level of success I was having in different things. I really, really wanted it for them for whatever reason, what they've done for me, what they mean to me, whatever. But that was one of the tougher things to learn. That's so simple and understandable now, but in the moment, it's kind of like being a teenager. Boy, you're a citizen against the world, and you know right, but you ain't right about crap. And
that's right.
So almost anyway. But so in business, it's the same thing. And so I had to come to understand that what I get excited about, everybody's not excited about. You know what I mean? Everybody's excited about a lot of people the destination. I'm excited about the journey, because the discipline to get me to where I need to go is the behaviors I need to practice to succeed on multiple levels. Yeah. And so that's exciting to me, because I've succeeded in multiple ways on my way to the path of where I was trying to go, because I was doing the right things. And that's how it clicked for me, that practicing the right behaviors for success is going to lead to success, but not just what you're doing. It's, you know what I mean? You never just do one thing. Yeah. And so you do everything like you do everything, right? And so I understand that, my level of excitement for what I want, and for me liking the things that people generally hate, whether it's the working out, whether it's working hard, whether it's being, in a structured situation that I'm creating for myself or whatever, people aren't going to be as excited as I am. And so I've come to understand that, I'm more motivated to move in silence, not say a word, and have people see the results of what I've done, than to tell people about something, because, man, it's painful.
Yeah,
it's painful for some people to hear dreams of someone else's that are so big, it splits their head in half. Let
me make a comment on that. It's so crazy, Chris. You just hit a nerve with that. Is they don't want to hear you when you're talking about it. They're envious of you when you got it, and they vanish if you lose it. And what I mean by that is the journey, and I could talk about a lot of my journeys in life, whether it was my car lot, cell phone, anything. It was always someone that would come in and go, damn, you did it. or me and Jeanette owned a professional basketball team, and when we're sitting there as the owners and our team is playing and we're doing all these things, and they come back and go, "This is your team," but the whole time we talked about it, it was nothing. The whole time that we were playing, it was nothing. Crypto the same way. No one. I mean, dude, because of the industry we come from, it automatically puts a negative mark on our back. And I want to keep it 100. Because of the industry we come from, in trying to get people to believe, and our goal is getting on stage and getting people to dig deep and believe in themselves when a lot of times they don't want to, or they feel like they can't, is that industry puts a mark on our back to the fact that sometimes people don't even want to pick up the phone. They don't want to hear anything you got to say. So then when you talk about something like crypto, and I know me and you in my very beginning stages of crypto, you were one of the very first people I reached out to. And me and you started reaching out to people that we knew. And I remember me and you talking about the reception of people was almost like they closed the door. They weren't even open to hearing anything.
Oh, yeah.
And then in 2021, at the peak of where we were at, I saw celebrity friends of mine, Chris. We had people coming up to Vegas. We had people flying. I had family members that came up and looked at me and wrote some of the most heartfelt messages, had some of the most heartfelt conversations about how much they admired me and revered me and all these things because they had saw millions of dollars. I'll say my wife is on this show right now, millions of dollars, and they were looking at what we had created and the life that we were living at that moment, and they were looking around going, "Oh my God." And it just, everyone that was coming over, it was just this crazy admiration, this silence, this weird silence of just, whether it was admiration or it was whatever, envy, I don't know what you call it. And that's not what it's about. For me, it was always about, I'm going to tell you this in the beginning so that you could be here with me. That's me and you. That's one of the things that me and you are very passionate about, that I want you to be on the mountaintop with me. Therefore, I'm going to tell you in the beginning. So they don't listen in the beginning. They're envious when you're at the peak, and then all of a sudden the market drops. And there's all the stuff, Luna, and all it is I told you so moment. Where they're like, and you know what, Chris? All those people that were around in 2021, me and my wife don't see none of them. They're gone. They're gone. And not that we're losing. We've pulled back and we've restructured everything because obviously the market's tanked down. So we had to go back. We've had to go back and restructure where we were at in the beginning. So the beginning, we started with a little something. 2021, we had a whole lot of something. The market crashes, you take a part of that whole lot of something and you put it in place so that you can have a bigger bull run than you had the first time, right? So so they don't listen. They're all in front of you. They vanish, and it's crazy, Chris. I'm gonna say this, and I want to keep it 100. I want you to keep 100 with this too. That's why the next time I will be less likely to open that door to those who are just running around, because the envy, I could tell you stories about, and I won't say lie, but I could tell you stories about people trying to demand things from me.
Oh, yeah.
At the very top.
Oh, yeah.
People who were
certain
jealous.
People feel like they got a right.
People felt like they had a right. People who didn't want to listen now want to borrow. People who didn't want to come around now always around us. And so now it's times like this where I'm not. It's not a bitter thing for me. It's an eye-opening thing for me to look back around and go, you know what? And this is what I told my wife. I said, the ones who are real, the real ones, the ones who are with me now, are the ones that I want around when the next high-level explosion happens in this industry. And that's why I've had those conversations with you about you and your wife, and family. That's why I've had conversations with certain people about what my goals are and how I want them to be a part of those plans. Because when all the smoke settles, and you look around, the real ones will still be there. Go ahead, Chris.
100%, brother. I'm right there with you. A second cycle of anything is always that much more rewarding when you've got the best people that's filtered through. You're looking at your true blue, and you're ready to do it in a big time way, and you can have some guilt-free success, because that's what it's about. It's like, you know what I mean? It's a whole lot different when somebody's like, hey, man, how'd you do this or whatever else? And it's like, oh, remember that thing I told you about? What? It did this? It's like, hey, man, I wasn't playing with you. Oh, man, you told me. As opposed to, hey, man, how'd you get all this? Oh, well, this little thing, I was doing this, and that. And why do you tell me about that, man? I won't, want to achieve success like anybody else.
Right.
I don't know, man. I care about you. I just never thought about you. Right. Like, it's a little different. So I was, it was one of the first times, just knowing how people's, personalities was, and this is being pretty, revealing and, honest about my own personal insecurity and whatnot. But,
that's why they love you, Chris. That's why they love you.
Hey, man, it is what it is. I went to some people hoping they'd say, I'm not interested in nothing. And and only one that I say, hey, I'm glad you said it. I'm getting, they were messing with me. They're like, all right, that's it. And I was like, okay. They're like, that's it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, you're the most relentless dude I know. How in the heck you going to just say something? And I say, no, I'm not interested. And you say, okay.
Right.
And I said, well, I assume you weren't. You're not really that open to almost anything. I said, most common things we say over time is the things you wish you did that I told you to do. And,
right.
and I didn't expect this to be any different. But the one thing about the narrative that I want to continue is that I told you, and that's it.
That's right.
Because the one I don't tell you about will be the one you cry about, and so he's like, yeah, you're right. And, and it's just, different opportunities, people could care less. And so, and I thought that because people complained about the situations that they were in, that they wanted something different. I didn't understand really the difference between venting how they feel and actually wanting a action-oriented solution to the situation. And then it just kept, had me hit me right between the eyes that you know what, Chris, hey, as much as they may not like it, man, whatever security blanket they got, if they're going to show up to it every single day, then it ain't that bad. And
wow.
You need to stop acting like you're trying to break people out of prison that are running full speed back
That's
into
right.
it.
That's
and
right.
You're getting caught.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't put myself at the expense of any of that no more. I let people know what's up.
That's smart.
And now that it's on the second round, I can tell this many people and be 100%, have zero guilt as we expand and do what we need to do. Because we told everybody that was important enough to tell that didn't care at first. And the ones that did, they got involved, and the ones that didn't, they didn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, let me add something to that, Chris. And one of the things I love about having you on, because it makes me want to keep it a little bit more. I always keep it 100, but it always reminds me of that when me and you are talking, which I think is what centers us or really motivates me to have you do this with me is keeping each other accountable on the things that we say. Nesforce, shouts out to Nesforce, shouts out to Andrew T, shouts out to all those that are here right now. Nesforce says something in the stream, Chris. He says, "Where is everyone? I thought we were family. Rally the troops." Basically, where's everybody at as far as supporters in the group? And it made me think while you were talking. And then Nesforce went on to say, haters, they will always find a reason to hate. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
They don't chase parked cars.
That's right, exactly. And so I'll say this based off what Nesforce said. It's funny to me. And we do have people come, and there's probably people who can't make it because of church and circumstances. So I never really get onto people too much. But I will see those same people if I go over and jump into the, IBF chat or something like that, which a lot of times I go to different places and I'll see those same people being super supportive. And one of the things I'll say is this, is that going back to the subject that we were talking about, people are always about what benefits them in certain ways, meaning that I remember when we were doing giveaways on this channel, and we were doing giveaways very often on this channel. We were doing every week giveaways. You come through every day and your name gets put in the drawing and all that. And during that time, our chats were, a lot more people attending, a lot more people there because it was something that they could get for free. It's something that that would benefit them. Just like we have a chat group. A trading group that I started. I pay like $800 a month every 6 months for that chat group. And I put that together for those who that are part of the group, and it's a free thing, and the way I reward people, if you're a member with a star, which we appreciate all you guys who are stars, and that shows me that you guys are supporting the channel. What we do is we provide that for those people who have stars next to their names or whatever else, and it's not something that the star gets you. That the star just, to me, it was a benefit to saying thank you to those who have stars that are supporting the channel, which are members.
100%.
And And then in that process, people don't realize that during that process, when what I'm paying for, it takes a certain amount of time every day for me to go into that group that I'm paying for and take that information, those trading pairs, the TA, the technical analysis, all the stuff that's there, the information, and then put it into our trading group so that people can take advantage of those trades and stuff, right? And
100%.
it takes work to do that, and it's a benefit. It's a benefit, and it costs me money and time to do that away from everything else that I'm doing. And there's times I'm not even motivated to do it. Like I'll look at the chat group and I'm just like, you know what, it's not. I'm not even. And I'll have 50 trades coming through in a day, and I'm like, I just don't even want to mess with it because the support doesn't weigh. The support that people give don't weigh
the value that you're giving
or justify my efforts in doing that, and so and then even when you look at those that and it just came up because of what Nesfor said, where's the family at? I promise you, if I went back to my giveaway, we would be double, triple, quadruple the and so that's just how people are. People see no value in things unless there's a benefit to them. Me and you understand the value who we are because and I think what's humbling to me is I don't try to push the narrative. I just brought that up because Nesfor has said what they said, what he said, and for me, when me and you would walk on stage, or we would our names would be introduced in front of 500 people. I know my biggest crowd was 15,000 people. You've been in the thousands of people, I'm sure, if not the same, if not greater. You get recognized. Like, we understand our value, so I'm never going to try to sell myself or the value of what I bring to the table. How many influencers do you see bringing in celebrities or bringing in this or bringing in guys who've been in Fortune magazine and bringing in people of your level every single day, or having people like you that show up every week when you've got 1,000 things you could be doing. And it's the love and the admiration that we have for each other and the commitment to helping people win even further past the industry that we were in, because it's nonstop. We were that way before we got in that industry, and we're going to be that way thereafter, which I think is what makes us who we are. So to One Love, 6-8 Jay and Chris Moore, thank you so much, Wayside Soldier. So for me, when I look up at the numbers of the viewers, whatever the case may be, what I typically do is I go back several days later and I look at the average video gets 100 looks or whatever, and as long as we're touching somebody's life, it makes me happy. So kind of to answer your question as far as, man, I appreciate you, thank you so much, and thank you for all you guys who are here, and even for those who are not here. It could be a circumstance why they're not here, but obviously we can definitely see the ones who show up, and it's kind of like it's something I remember telling my wife. I said, honey, when this next go around happens, whatever my relationship are with people, whatever our channel's at with people, like right now, whatever that situation is, I hope it stays the same. I don't want nothing to change when the next bull run comes. Meaning that the people who are here right now organically, there's going to be a lot of people here, but those are going to be the ones that I'm focused on. The people in my life, like the Chris Moores and everybody else, those are the people I want to look up and see around. I don't want new people. What Drake say? No new people.
No new friends.
No new friends. So anyways, go ahead, Chris, with that. And I know we just came up on an hour. Before I give it up to you, there's this article, guys. Make sure you go to my Twitter. I put a lot of stuff up on my Twitter that I've retweeted. One of the things that you can see right here from Coin Paper says, unlocking crypto wealth beyond Bitcoin. And it says crypto has already produced over 88,000 millionaires. 88,000 millionaires. And it said, Chris, most of those came from altcoins, not Bitcoin.
That's crazy. It makes perfect sense.
So to know that and if you guys get a chance, open up this article right here. It's a great read. And it kind of shows you guys, it definitely proves to us that we're in the right space, the right opportunity, the right timing, and just don't let anyone shake you out of this path that we're on right now, guys. Chris?
100%. So it's that's pretty much it. I don't give attention to things that don't align with my goals. I understand that is just kind of comes with the territory. You buy a Hummer, then you got high. You spend a lot of money on gas. All right, you're gonna go and you're gonna be successful. Understand that people that are fighting hard to not be successful are going to try and diminish your success or whatever else. I've heard all kinds of stuff. Oh, Chris, he's just running his mouth and he's this, he's that. Man, listen, I don't care who I'm talking to. I'll give you the synapse between here a few days ago and what it's going to be here within the next 10 days. I'll do it. I did a recorded call for somebody else that's saving all his to drop his like first 50 interviews or something. And I'm actually going to be doing the same thing. All right. And you'll be one of the people I interview. Right. Awesome. I got on somebody else's podcast thing about life and what to talk about. What do you wanted me to talk about? Work relationships. And then another coworker of his, he's going to have me on this little live conference thing with some of his executives. You know what I mean? He said, these people are responsible for all of the money I make. And I'm now starting to get stressed the hell out because they, egos and all kinds of things are coming in the way. I need you to figure it out because I don't want to come out of retirement and hire a whole new team, I'm like, okay. And and then I'm going to be doing this call with all these damn school teachers, right? Trying to get them to kind of come together. There's some strife going on there. Right. So, there'll be 0 people on one of the calls. There'll be 10 people on one of the calls. This other guy, his deal, he said he has 6,000-7,000 people will be live on it or whatever. And we'll be doing that, and so I don't, I've learned a lot. I've just didn't experience life. I've annotated situations, circumstances. I'm so interested in people, their behavior, what they do, why they do it. I'm really taking note, you know what I mean, of who I deal with, and then the people that I might have met them one time, but I've really met them 1,000 times, right. And so it's like communicating that information and helping people come together a little bit better. It goes a long way for me. Communication and togetherness. That's just a really, really, really big thing. And that's whether it's a relationship, working relationships, your home relationship, men in general are already, that's not generally a strong suit of men. A lot of us are very emotionally unavailable and taught that way, you're a punk or you're this or you're that, and don't express your feelings. You get beat up because you're crying, or you a bunch of stupid, toxic, dumb stuff that had us running away from settling in our manhood and being men, right? And so the thing is, that's a repressed situation that a lot of us deal with. Men suffer in silence for that, right? And so being able to communicate that and help other people do that means a lot to me, because you'll see tons of situations throughout life and, where things were great. And then now, boom, it's fractured, and it was close. It was great. It was amazing. And you could ask both people, they got complete different, perspectives on what happened. And there's no way, there's no segue. They don't know how to put it together. People that's fought all the time and people that's never, ever had a fight, had one big fight. They don't know how to put things together. It ends relationships, and marriages, and ends all kinds of different situations. So if we all could, communicate better, you asked the question. You didn't really ask the question. You asked the question. It was kind of more rhetorical when you were talking about people coming together when they feel so different about, have such opposing views about important subjects. And the thing is, there's always, hopefully anyway, some level of common ground where you can find as a reference, a frame, and start building from that. Right. You know what I mean? And so when I've been able to do that, I found people where they were at. It was, to me, that's the real definition of meeting people where they're at, as opposed to lording over them with the righteousness of what you feel you're so correct about. My way of thinking is the best. You're stupid because you don't think this way. And that's the kind of political crap that we're dealing with, right? It's understanding other people's side, seeing where they're coming from, and seeing if you can bridge a gap, or weighing does this conversation even need to happen? If there's, you know what I mean? I ask people now, and people look at me a little crazy, James. Some people will say things to me, and I'll say, what's your purpose for this? I need to find out, are you wanting to come together on this? Are you wanting to change my opinion about something? Right. Do you want me to change your opinion about something? Right. Do you just not know? Right. Or are you looking for a reason to fight? Right? Or what's going on? Because if I don't know your motive, I have nothing for you. That's right. And so I have people, okay, never mind, or whatever. Okay, all right. Well, that means you wanted to do something stupid. You know what I mean? Right? And some people, no. I want us to come together. I'm like, great. Give me your point, because I'm knowing that that's the direction we're moving in. We can become aligned in this. But if we got different goals, we don't ever need to engage in a conversation that is a polarizing situation unless we just, we need somebody to argue with.
That's right.
So I don't take logical conversations to emotional battles. Right. You know what I'm saying? I take the right tool for the job, and I figure out what direction we're going in, and then let's figure out the shortcut to that, because we don't need to beat around the bush if we want the same things. Two people want the same things. If two people are arguing, they're both fighting for who's being the bigger victim. That's right. You can't have two people being a victim, right? So listen to understand. And see what you can do to kind of make that a little better, unless you always want to fight. And just that alone can help personal, professional, neighbor, any kind of relationship that you got, that they're to not look at somebody like an enemy and understand that there is some common ground. People like good things that make them feel good. That's right. Find where the heck that is. Give a crap enough instead of just saying it to find where that is, and see what you can do with that. And that'll do a lot for yourself, because a man that can communicate and come together with anybody, that's a dangerous man. Yeah. It's not the one that's fighting every time he gets pissed off. Yeah, it's the guy that can get whatever the hell he wants by his words.
Yeah, I always say, it's the old saying that we say back in the day is people want to know that you care more than they want to know what you know. And I think
they don't know. Yeah, they don't care about what you know until they know about that you care. Thank you, my brother. Yes.
And I think I always told people, they would say, well, James, how do you do what you do? And I'm sure you got, Chris, how do you do what you do? And I said, man, my success comes from one of the most simplest phrases, or one of the simplest things ever, and that is listen more and talk less. Man, people, like, God, if you want to connect to people, man, just ask the question, how are you? Have you? And I always tell people, have you ever been around someone when you say, how are you? A girl will say, you'll say something to, like, have you ever gone, especially like you see females talking, say, girl, how are you? And they'll talk for, you wonder, how do your girls stay on the phone for hours and hours and hours? Because when you ask someone, how are you, and you stop and listen, they'll give you all the notes, they'll give you all the points that they really need help, or they're really trying to make, meaning that if I want to know something about Chris, if I say, how are you? And I sit back and I just take mental notes and say, well, Jay, man, hey, man, right now things are hard financially. Ding! Boom, I got it. Financial struggle. Man, right now I'm struggling with my kids. Ding! Okay, now you got some stuff at home. Man, and right now my business is not. But a lot of times what happens is we engage in conversations with the objective of just pouring out what we want and trying to drive people in directions that we want them to go in, instead of just listening to where they're at, meeting them where they're at, and then coming up with a solution to that particular problem. When you can help someone solve a problem, my brother, you got a friend or a connection for life. And that's really what it is. So, and I think it goes back to something that we learned and we were taught when you go, remember the 4 types of people, the urchin, dolphin, whale, and shark. If you're having a conversation with let's say a whale, who a pastor, a teacher or something, meet him at that point of helping people. Don't go talking about money. So like what you were saying before, dissecting a conversation by asking why, trying to understand the issue, the problem, and then trying to figure out what that solution is, and then that way you got common ground. Going back to what you're saying, it's hard.
Or the motive. Or the motive.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's like, hey, I could tell this is a polarizing conversation, but if I don't know what direction you want to take this in, it's not a conversation that's worth having. So I need to know.
Yeah. It's like being a car salesman, and a guy like you walk up and I look at you and you're all buff, and I'm thinking, ooh, this dude want to get it. He wants to get the Bentley, the convertible, to get all the girls. Hey, bro, come over here. I got the Bentley, cherry red. You can get all the ladies. It's got a secret compartment right here that's got wine, and you can entertain. And I never sat back.
I'm like, man, I want that soccer mom fan over there.
And the point I was trying to make is, I never took the time to ask the most simplest question in the world: sir, how are you? Sir, what can I do for you? And I would have found out that you wanted the Escalade that sits 7 because you got a family of 7. So I totally ruined that moment. Matter of fact, I might even offended you.
Happened a bunch of times.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of connecting to people, finding out what they need, and that's always been my biggest, I guess, my secret weapon, man. It's just, and I remember Tom and many people from our past. Even David Moe says, he told me, he said, James is one of the best people at connecting and building relationships. I'm like, man, all I'm asking people is, how are you? It's not about how many books I read. Just how are you? I used to watch my mom 100%. Do it. I watch pastors do it. I watch girlfriends do it. And and anything that you need to know about a person. I remember, and I'm gonna share this with you. I remember one time I met with one of my friends. He was a police officer. He's retired now, and big old dude, 6'4", 200 some. I mean, just big old Terminator looking dude, Chris. Bigger than you, but 6'4", right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was a police officer. He had gained some weight, so he was always buff like you, but then he had the belly, right? And we sat down and we were talking about some things that me and you were involved in back. So we were meeting. I said, hey man, let's get together and let's talk. We got there, and the first thing I hadn't seen him in years, and I said, man, how are you? And he started talking about, dude. Next thing you know, Chris, we're in Starbucks. Come to find out, this dude was a police officer who was trying to get into the special like SWAT unit, but because of his weight, he had to lose so much weight. Even though he had everything else buffed and everything, his stomach.
Yeah.
And then when he started talking about his stomach, I didn't talk about, well, wait, guess what I got? I can help you with the weight thing. I started finding out why did he gain that kind of weight. Like if I look at you and see you would be, I said, man, so what's going on, man? What happened? Come to find out, he was going through depression. His mom had died. His wife was abusing him. I'm like, how the hell your wife abusing you? It got so deep. We wound up being two brothers in Starbucks tearing up, brother. I mean, we were literally, he was in tears, I was in tears in the middle of Starbucks because my heart was hurting for my brother. What he needed was a friend, not me sitting up there trying to tell him something, sell him something, whatever the case may be. He needed a friend. We left there, Chris, hugging each other's neck, never talked about anything I was ever to talk about. Not one damn thing. It was all about him. He called me about an hour later. He said, man, you know what? He goes, he says, I appreciate the fact that we met and you was there for me as my boy. And he goes, man, I don't even know what you're doing right now, but whatever it is, I'm in. Just because you took the time to show me that you care. And I was like, so that's the power of connecting to people, making sure that people know that you care first, because they want to know that more than they want to know what you know. And that's a true statement, and that kind of piggybacks off of what you said, man. So, great content, man. Anything you want to close with, Chris?
100%.
I'm going to read through some of these people here. Anthony Lanner shouts out. Carmichael's in the house. We got Beekeeper69. What's up, my brother? Andrew T's in the house. Wayside Soldier, Crypto Tropics, Nest Force. Thank you guys so much. JC, talking about it, 97 degrees in Florida. Is it hot out there where you at, Chris?
It's 97 right now, too, in Texas.
So 97 in Texas, 97 and me and Janetta get outside and start complaining. It's 75 out here in our. It's like we got no reason to complain. Shouts out to everybody that's here. My beautiful queen Jeanette McFadden, all those who are here supporting the channel. Thank you so much in a major way. Chris, your closing thoughts as we get ready to get out of here, brother.
Well, I'd just say that get positioned to be able to take advantage of opportunities. A lot of us are already, investing in crypto and everything else, but, your dollar cost averaging really is based on what you have as available funds. So if you are making yourself that much more available, you have that much more available funds. If you're becoming that much more efficient and whatnot, right?
That's right.
And then, you never know. You never know what happens. It's good to have a little bit of capital and to have things to such a reduced level. You're not throwing away things by knocking things out early. You're preparing for the future, because I've had times in my life where I had very, very little bills, but investments and other things and assets were taking more of my money, and that set me up for something later. But I could have never had that if I hadn't significantly reduced things.
Let me ask you a question before you leave, because you just sparked something else. What would you say? What would Chris Moore say to the person that's in a similar position as you, where you, and man, I think this is powerful, man. I don't know why I didn't think like this before. When you see this life-changing opportunity we got, this life-altering, I know a lot of people are going to appreciate this life-altering opportunity we got, a once-in-a-lifetime. I mean, my parents never had it, Chris. My grandparents never had it. We were never invited to be financially free and to break the genealogy curse in our family's history like an opportunity like crypto. When the world's going into chaos, when they're getting away from the dollar, when AI just dropped, when crypto and digital assets, what do you say to the person that recognizes the opportunity and wants to be part of it with everything they are? They got minimal resources. They got big dreams, but the reality is similar to the reality that you got. Man, look, I'm trying to keep the damn thing going. Like my reality is I got 7 kids. My reality is I got 4 kids. My reality is I got this. My reality is I got a parent. Whatever that reality is, it's overshadowing, right, their ability to invest, and they're frustrated right now, Chris, because they see what's here, and they're trying to figure out how to get the most. What would your advice? I know what my advice would be to that person who's just trying to keep going day to day. but they see the opportunity. They don't want to miss it. What is your advice to that person?
Well, you can only do what you can do, right? So you do what you can do until you can do something different.
That's right.
The most important thing, to do is the start, because the start is what stops most people, right?
That's right.
So it's like, hey, listen, get a real honest understanding of what dollar cost averaging looks like to you right now.
Right.
And then put together some level of projection of what it could look like for you 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line. And understand that despite anything that's happening or going on, this is your plan. This is your situation. You are working towards being in a situation where you can put forward towards your future dreams than where you are currently. And if you can see where you are dollar cost average and it's pretty pathetic or whatnot, like that's what I realized the first time I was able to look at things and see what would be within the safe parameters of investing. I was like, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I should be doing a lot better. Right. I should be doing a whole lot better. And it was just a lot I wasn't tracking, really. I was easily able to change things once I saw what the heck I was doing. Yeah. But I didn't even know because I wasn't tracking. I almost didn't want to know. It was scary. But I was like, oh, I can afford it as long as I can afford it. No, when I really looked at it, I can't afford it. I shouldn't. Right. So when so finding out where I was right then, finding out where I wanted to be, and I did the wanted to be before I knew where I was. This is where I want to be. I realized I was a whole lot further than I thought. And then I just said, okay, well, what would I need to do to get to that point?
Yeah.
And then started implementing a plan for it. And then as I was on my way, other things kind of happened, like the universe, right? And, it's thinking, it's manifestation, like you're saying, it's, thoughts become things, so you're thinking about what you want. And it comes into your life, right? The area of San Antonio I wanted to live in before I ever moved in the city is where we live in right now, where we circled 10 years ago and 3 years before we ever moved down here, and 7 years, we lived in a different place. The vehicle we have right now, I took a picture of it. When they first came out, or when it was a concept or whatever, 6-7 years ago, the same everything, same color and everything. I had a picture of it because the person that did the concept thing was at the deal. I took a picture of it. It was on my vision board. I hit these things when I had this board down and in the storage. And me and my wife found it and said, look, this is the one that I said, oh my God, this is what we're driving. We'd already had the car for 18 months before I even knew, right? We'd already been living in the place 4 months before I knew. Like, you just got to put it on paper, start going towards it. Don't be a victim of your circumstances. Decide what you want and put together a plan to start doing it. And even though you may not know all the steps, I didn't know all the steps. This stuff sounds very clean, guys, but every single thing I did, I generally knew first, second, third step or so. Well, guess what? As I started accomplishing them, the new steps started revealing themselves for me.
Right.
And that's how it is for anybody.
Yeah, I think one of the things you just said that was key is don't be a victim of your circumstance. I think people need to understand that if you want things to change, you got to change. And if you want things to get better, you got to get better. Wherever you're at in life is where you're at in life. I've been faced, me and Jeanette both have been faced many a time in a position that either A, I didn't think I should have been, but then I realized, okay, if I don't feel like I should be here, what am I willing to do to change that narrative? And how bad do I want it? And I think that's what it comes down. It's an old saying that Les Brown says is, do the things today that other people won't do in order to have the things tomorrow that other people won't have. So if I know that what I'm doing right now is yielding this amount of money, or this put me in this position, I've got to change something, because to continue to do the same thing over and over and expect different results, they call insanity, right? So I'm not going to get that XRP back. I love what Anthony Wanner says. He says, my daughter wants to buy $50 worth of XRP. He says, start somewhere, if not financial advice. And I agree with that to the extent that if that means getting outside of your comfort zone, if that means going to collect bottles, if that means stop eating McDonald's all the time, if that means don't go over here and spend this, if that means, maybe you want to go see the movie, but waiting for it to come out on Netflix, whatever that may be, that $20, that $30, next day, that's $100. You do that 10 more times, that's $1,000. If you look at what that brings right now, that's 2,000 XRP. And I'm using XRP as an example, but that could be millions,
100%.
Millions of Shiba, billions of VTHO, so much of VRA, so much of Matic, so much of XLM, so much of XDC, whatever that is, and then understanding the opportunity where we're at right now, Chris, it may get a
Hmm.
little, the prices may get worse, but I don't think we'll ever see this moment again. Meaning that we could dip
Yeah.
down further, but I think
Hmm.
just like we're never going to forget 2019 and the impact that COVID had on this world, we're never gonna forget the day that AI was introduced. I'm never gonna forget the day I had cell phone stores, and I remember smartphones and what's it called, FaceTime. I'm like, holy crap, we could do what? Smartwatch. I'll never forget the fact that we're talking on watches that used to be in Dick Tracy movies and Star Trek. There's just
A
things
hundred
that
percent.
there's things that you'll never forget that changed the world forever. Like you'll never
Hmm.
forget Tesla. There's all kinds of electric cars, but who's ever going to forget Tesla was the first with that vision?
Yeah.
I
Nobody.
think we're in a moment right now. We're never going to see or forget this moment, and I'm going to say 2023, because 2021 was a snapshot of the possibilities of what was to come. We needed a washout, like Craig with Crypto Savvy One says. The bubble had to pop.
Yep.
The fraud had to come out. The scandals had to be revealed. The corruption in our government had to be shown. And when the
Hmm.
Great Reset happens, the question is, what did you do in times of struggle that will determine, dictate, and define your family's future? And I think that's where we're at right now, my brother. So with that being said,
I like that.
yeah,
That's a very articulate and beautiful way to say that. Um, you know, 3% of life is what happens to you, and 97% is what you do with it.
that's
It's
man, man.
it's a lot of crappy things that happen to everybody.
That's right.
But what did you do to prepare for it? What did you do to make sure that the next time this particular thing happens, if it does, that you're in a good place, in a good position? You and I, we take notes for anything that's going on, to know what we would do, if that same situation comes back. So I'm glad that we get a second cycle, a second try, a second positioning, in this situation, because when we were in it, what we kept saying was, oh man, if we did this 3 months ago, if this was this 6 months ago and stuff, we're finally at a position now where we can say things are where we want them to be.
That's right.
Of course they could go a little bit lower or something else, but we are in the absolute greatest position right now, because nothing and our history has ever been even close to the opportunity for the typical person to cash in on and succeed in such a way financially as what we have right now in crypto. Never in human existence has there been something like this. So if there's anything to prepare for, if there's anything to position yourself the right way, or study on, or really make sure that that you are that you have what you need. This is it, because this should get us all ahead, and in some amazing ways.
Well, let me give credit where credit is due, on behalf of both of us. Shouts out, appreciation, and much love to the man upstairs. God, for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this industry, for us being able to recognize it, for us to be in the midst of this, for all you guys that are watching today. I'm just so thankful, because that we're here. There's so many people that are not here. There's so many people that are either they're not aware, they're watching the game, they don't know there's a game being played. But I'm just so grateful to God that we are playing the game. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for being blessed with my wife. I mean, a lot of times we don't give credit where credit's due, Chris. But one of the most strongest parts about what makes me and you who we are, and why we're able to say the things we're saying and have the passion that we have, and that's even given us the family that we have, are the women that are on our side. So shouts out to my beautiful Queen Jeanette, and shouts out to my sister Paige, for holding it down. And I just can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait for the fact that I know life is going to be amazing, even more so amazing than what it is. Money won't determine that. All money will do is put us in a place that we're able to, enjoy each other, do more for our families, set some extraordinary things, put some extraordinary things in place for our kids' financial future, and to me, help a lot of people who are in need. Family, friends, and what have you. So, with that being said, man, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. Thank you guys very much. This is Chris Moore, my brother. Shouts out to all you guys. Make sure that you guys catch us. We'll try to go live, I would say tomorrow. It all depends. I'll let you guys know for sure. But catch us Monday through Friday. Typically, we go live at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I typically do live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can always look forward to seeing Chris Moore, who's committed to being here every Sunday. Look out for some of the other things that we're doing. We'll appreciate each and every one of you guys. Much love. Crypto Jay, what's up, my brother? Crypto Tropics and S-Force, and all you guys that are here. My beautiful queen, my sister Paige, my man Chris Moore, and to all our family and friends that are out there, and especially those who are part of Crypto for Life. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.